I want to thank you. We'll open it up to a couple of questions, and as I mentioned, all of the promoters that I mentioned will be here if you have any direct questions for them.
And Marshall, with the success of, over here on your left, back row.
Yeah, sorry, it's just the lights are a little tough for me, I can't
With the
see.
success of Invicta and the live broadcast this year, any plans to do live broadcasts with any of these promotions that still do that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Definitely, we have the ability for the ongoing promotions to do live events. We have, one of the things that we're trying to do is we want to get the library on the service, let people experience the library, and then at the right time bring the events in live. They'll come from all over the world, and we think this will be more value for our fans.
Marshall, not being a digital content expert, I gotta imagine this is a pretty labor-intensive process with some of these old tapes and stuff. So, when's it going to be complete? Seems like a lot of man hours. So when's it going to be complete, and how do you prioritize what gets done first?
Yeah, thanks. That's a good question as well. This is intensive. That we have one of our people from the digital team here making sure I don't say anything, make any promises we can't keep. The reality is this is intensive. What has been really impressive is that all of these promoters, these businessmen that we dealt with, have all taken great care to manage their libraries. And so as we've gone in to do the diligence to find out the condition of them, we're pleasantly surprised in what state they're in. Now, we need to take some time to go through and look at them beyond just the indexing of them, but we're talking about thousands and thousands of hours of digibeta to other digital formats of this, and that'll take some time. That's why we're giving ourselves a little bit of a bandwidth here to get the stuff up. We're talking about spring. And in terms of the curation and collection of this stuff, there are some people in the company who have really good experience with this, but we really are going to reach back to a lot of the promoters, the fighters who fought in those promotions, and ask them to help us curate and collect or collate the content so that the fans have a good jumping off point to get into the brands and the history of the sport.
And is this a sign of something that we could see again in the future with other organizations? I mean, was this just, these are the ones we want and we're going to get it and we're done doing this, or do you think there could be additional acquisitions at some point?
There are more acquisitions to come. We've got a number of irons in the fire. We've got promotions. Ever since we did the Invicta announcement and the deal, promoters have approached us. I think promoters are looking at Fight Pass. It's a challenging world out there, you know, to try and get your content distributed, get it exposed. The internet has opened it up for everybody. But Fight Pass is slowly becoming the sort of gold seal for MMA, and we're going to do our best to try and get as much MMA content within Fight Pass so that the fans can continue to get ingrained in the sport. And I'm a believer that the more fans know about the history, the more inclined they are going to be to stay a part of it as it grows in the future. And Fight Pass is achieving that now, but we're never going to rest. We have a lot of work to do.
And I know obviously the number of subscribers to Fight Pass is a closely guarded secret, but are there any statistics or numbers of any kind that you can help us to kind of understand where we've come in a year, where this product is after a year?
Well, you're right. We don't really announce the numbers. The one thing I can tell you is that many of you who have followed the UFC for a long time know that when it comes to business, we're always looking to push ourselves. And when we built out the models, when we launched the service, we usually build out a sort of mid-tier, kind of like the goal, you know, if it's not a success, what will it be like, and what's the sort of stretch goal. And I think about 6 months into this, we were about 3 times past our goal, our middle goal, and we are now beyond our stretch goal. So we have now, I think, subscribers, you know, I'm going to say over 165 different countries represented with 1 subscriber. I have a belief that, you know, when it comes to an over-the-top service, I can't prove this now, but I'll bet someone will do some digging on this, is we may be the most far-reaching over-the-top service like this in terms of, I know Netflix is in 165 countries. So we're really proud of what we're doing. We have amazing retention rates. We are, in terms of the subscribers that come into the service and stay with the service, whether it's called churn or retention, we're beyond the industry averages. It's a little funky the way some of the people use the formulas for this, but we think we're using an industry standard on that. You know, Fight Pass has a 7-day free trial, and then after the 7-day free trial, if there's an opportunity for the fans to unsubscribe, well, that conversion rate is probably 20% higher than we thought it was going to be. So I can't give you any more information other than that, but I can tell you that it's an amazing business, and it's really the success of the business and the reaction of the fans that's allowed us to continue to invest the kind of money it takes to work with these groups to get access to these libraries. So we're really proud of what Fight Pass is and what it will become.
Hello, I wanted to ask about the time frame that you gave being the spring for these to be loaded. Would that be for each and every video possible to be loaded by that time, or would that be a rough time frame of when we can expect to start to see them be loaded?
You'll start to see content. We're going to work hard to create and highlight the historically significant events and fights from each individual promotion, so we'll be opportunistic. You'll start to see the content start to trickle out during that time. I don't have a time frame as to when it will all be up, but it will take some time. I know that when we launched Fight Pass, it took many, many months for us to get everything ingested, get the metadata created, and we were working from a system where a lot of our content was already ingested digitally. So I know our team is going to work hard and probably going to add some bodies, and we've got to get this organized, but it's going to be a priority for the Fight Pass team.
A lot of fans also ask about the smart gaming consoles, when that app would come and be available. We know that you've got the Apple TV app. When is there a timeline for the smart gaming consoles to have that app?
Well, we expect the Xbox, I think it's 360 and Xbox One, I think we'll have the app up on those sometime in the next couple of months. Sony's a little bit slower rollout. We're working with them now on the PlayStation. But I think once we knock those off, we probably have Amazon Fire in our sites and some of those other devices. But we want this to be ubiquitous. We want this to be available everywhere. We're trying to get this launched with some of the cable MSOs in the US and around the world. So we're taking this as a serious business. We're not satisfied with where we are. We want more.
And much like the success Invicta has had with the live streaming and live events on Fight Pass in 2015, are there any other promotions that you can foresee maybe coming to the foray in 2015?
Well, I think all of the promotions that we spoke about that are ongoing concerns, we're looking at trying to find a way to get their events live within Fight Pass. It'll take some time. It'll come probably after the spring as we start getting portions of libraries up on the service, but that is part of the plan.
Here, right here. Yes. I just got a question. For the people who wants to see Fight Pass outside the US, how it works, maybe I'm not very aware of that, but I know people from Mexico that can open or can subscribe to Fight Pass. Is that gonna change with this 2015? Now you guys planning to go to Puerto Rico and all these places, right? It's gonna be an opening for these people.
Yeah, it's effectively, Fight Pass is effectively available in all but Latin America, Spanish-speaking Latin America, and in Brazil. And primarily that's because we have our linear channel that's available in both. We have the UFC network throughout Spanish-speaking Latin America, and then our partnership with Globo in Brazil with Combate. We have started to discuss with both of our partners there the ability to launch Fight Pass. It's in our target for next year to be able to launch Fight Pass in those countries. There's a lot of work to do there. But the good news is our system is, we want to make sure that the content is bilingual there, that the interface is bilingual, and now our partners are interested in launching it, so I would expect those to be available soon. And when I say soon, you're probably talking about second or third quarter. All right.
Marshall, over to your left. Part of the benefit of UFC Fight Pass was the additional documentary type programs that came along with it. A lot of these fights that happen, like Anderson Silva, middleweight champion, like his Lee Murray fight, some of the fights in Cage Rage, obviously Misha Tate, the tournament, Hook and Shoe. Will there be any additional documentary type programs created around this new content?
For sure, the production team, this has become a passion project for so many people. We have so many fans outside of the UFC, but some of the biggest fans we have are working within the company. And so they all want to be a part of Fight Pass, and the production guys in particular. There are more ideas than we can produce. So I would expect as we bring these libraries in, it really will be our job to create documentaries, again, as a way to get people educated about what these promotions were, what these why these fights are significant, and things like Fightography and MMA Pioneers is just the start of those kind of programs.
And will there be any additional developmental deals with the promotions that are still going? I mean, I know Invicta is being run basically as a completely separate promotion, but I know you guys did the deal over in Asia to start doing developmental deals. Will any of that go on, especially with like a Pancrase or an XFO, where a lot of fighters do come to the UFC from those promotions anyways.
Yeah, I think that to the extent that happens, it will happen because of our international growth strategy as opposed to a fight pass strategy. Right now, the work that we'll do with the ongoing promotions will be evaluating their live events, trying to find a way to get those in Fight Pass. But when it comes to things like Ultimate Fighter or whether or not a promotion is the feeder to the UFC, those aren't in our current plans. But we're enjoying the relationship that we started with all these promotions, and you never say never. I think that may be it. Yep. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the fight tonight, and we'll see you all soon, and thanks for all your support.